The number of hate crimes across the country is rising. According to the Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism, hate crimes jumped 12.5% last year in the nation's 10 largest cities. It is the fourth consecutive year the number has increased. CBS News senior national security analyst Fran Townsend was Homeland Security and Counterterrorism Advisor for President George W. Bush. Fran, good morning.
Good morning.
You were in the White House after 9/11. There was a discussion at the highest levels of government about how people are being radicalized online in terms of terrorism. Now we have homegrown extremists who are being radicalized online in a different sort of way.
That's right.
What can the government do about that?
Look, we've struggled with this, right, because we cherish our right to free speech. But we've tackled this online with the social media sites in the context of Islamic terrorism. And as you pointed out in one of the segments earlier, they have tackled this. And so it is possible. The social media sites, they're now taking down Gab. Why didn't they do that earlier? This is a cesspool of sort of right-wing, alt-right nationalists.
There is a clear plot line to be drawn about the motive that drew the shooter against this. He believed there was a conspiracy out there that George Soros, who is a Hungarian billionaire of Jewish faith, was funding the migrant caravan that was on the front page of the newspapers, that there were essentially Jews funding a group of invaders. And
that was not true.
Right.
That was not true. Yes.
Thank you, Gayle.
That was not true.
And then the Pittsburgh shooter posted on Gab, "I can't sit by and watch my people get slaughtered. Screw your optics, I'm going in." It's all there.
It is.
He was radicalized.
That's right.
Online by a conspiracy.
So one of the things that people don't appreciate is the FBI doesn't monitor social media sites. They're restricted from doing that under what's called the Attorney General guidelines. And so I think it's time that we've got to look at that. If people are making these statements in public, it's sort of the town crier in the local square. Why can't the FBI look at it? I understand the civil rights and free speech concerns, but I think it's time we have to deal with the problem that's in front of us.
And can they look at it? Go ahead, John.
Well, the story Norah put forward so completely is also being echoed by politicians from podiums in positions which, as Nick was talking about earlier, reinforces what might just stay in a dark place. It's now out in the open.
Well, let's talk about what politicians are saying. Yeah, they're giving sort of statements of condolence. That's right. But what have they done to sort of look at what's causing the problem, right? Why aren't we looking at the assault weapons ban? Why aren't we looking at who gets access to purchasing weapons? This man had 21 guns, and he's posting this sort of thing online. Why isn't it part of the screening process to look at their social media sites? So I'm a little tired of the politicians' sort of messages of condolences when they don't do anything.
Screening process for buying a firearm.
Correct.
Let me ask you this. If you were looking at threats in America right now, and you'd seen that the rise in anti-Semitic attacks had gone up 57%, and you're looking at all the threats in America, where would you put that in your top 5?
Well, and let's point out 1 in 5 of those is a religious bias, right? This is the largest increase since they've been recording these statistics. Look, I do think that the FBI has got to look at how they array their resources, not just them, right, but state and locals, and look at the domestic terrorism threat.
All right, Fran, thanks so much for being here, as always.